Hey, so welcome to Meet the Innovators with Team Kiwi for the month of November. We're getting close to the end of the year, and we thought we'd get together and get an update on a couple of things that are going on with Google and an update from Jordan and from Laura. We were supposed to be joined by Rachel, but she's had some unfortunate news, so we're sending big aroha out to her and her whānau. Hey, Rach, we're thinking about you all. Wish you could be here, but understand totally and sending you heaps of love. So we're going to jump in and have a look at a couple of things that are going on that are quite exciting. I think the first thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention is that we have an offer in New Zealand with Deploy Learning, who used to be EdTech Team Australia New Zealand, and they are bringing to us a free Level 1 certification course, which has been paid for by Google Australia New Zealand. And so you can do a Level 1 certification online, and you also get your exam paid for. So you work through an online course based around Google Classroom, running from the 18th of November to December the 8th. If you're in Australia, it gives you some professional learning credits as well. But if you're in New Zealand, you can join up with this cohort completely free. Other places are selling these courses for quite a lot of money. So it's a great way to get your Level 1 course, and you sit your exam at the end, your 3-hour exam, which is paid for by Google. So a big thanks to Google for that. Something I clicked on today and had a look at was happy birthday to Google Classroom. Google Classroom's just turned 5 years old. And the update with EDU in 90 from Morgan and Tim was all about Google Classroom and some cool stuff that you can do within Classroom. If you haven't seen EDU in 90, it is about a 3.5 minute long video from Google every month with different people hosting, and they talk through some product updates, what's going on, and celebrate a few of the awesome features that are available to us. So jump into YouTube, have a look at EDU in 90. There is a heap of really good videos on there, and especially this month's one looking at the cool stuff about Google Classroom and celebrating its 5th birthday. So a big happy birthday to Google Classroom. So that's my little intro for this month, and we're going to jump into one of our first guests. So let's have a chat to Jordan and find out what she's up to and what exciting things are happening with her as one of our Kiwi innovators. So welcome back, Jordan. Tell us all about what's going on.
Yeah, sure, I will do. So I'll share my screen, hopefully. Is it there?
Yeah, you got it.
Lovely. Cool. Okay, so my Innovator project is all around a technology-themed picture book series, which was targeted for junior students. So I created a book. It's called Arabella's Adventures. It's about my daughter. Her name's Arabella, and it follows her on a journey learning about technology at school. So the first book, so this is the website. So it's arabellasadventures.com, and you can come up to here where it says shop. And there's like different versions of the text that you could buy. So there's a hard copy book, which is awesome if you like having actual books like at school. My kids love having this one in class. There's an interactive ebook version, which is my daughter actually reads it to you, and there's pop-up videos that explain the concepts within the book, which is super awesome. And then there's just your normal like ebook and iBook. So if you've got an iPad, you can download it and use it on there as well. So I've tried to make it in like different platforms to really cater for like everyone and all different types of students and like classroom experiences. And then we've got follow-up activities as well. So at the end of the book, there's like follow-up activities that you can do to confirm your learning. So there's like checklists, role plays, activities, things like that the kids can download and use, including links for them to do it on Seesaw too, which is really cool.
Cool. So so what's the major themes of the book? So what's everyone getting out of these books when they jump on into them and hear your daughter reading to them?
So the first one's how to look after devices. So how to look after an iPad. So it's like she finds a broken iPad at school, and then it sort of like teaches children like some key rules or ideas around how to take care of devices. Mm-hmm. And the second one, which I'm currently working on with the illustrator, is all around internet kindness.
Cool. Sweet. So that sounds really cool. So so what's your plan for the next few? You know, want to release give us any hints on what we're looking at next in Arabella's Adventures?
Yeah, the internet kindness one is coming. So I've got to
Cool.
obviously wait for like a profit margin so that I can go and pay for the next one, because the Illustrator was quite pricey. But then after that, there is going to be one on internet safety. So one with like pop-ups and things, and how students should like navigate safely on the internet. And then, yeah, we'll see where we go from there, because it sort of, my whole project sort of like progressed quite quickly. So I'm like, well, what do I do now? So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
nice. That looks really cool, and available both on Android and iOS, you're saying?
Yes, yep, and Book Creator, the interactive one, which anyone can have, and then there's also the hard copy, which you can buy off Amazon.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. So how do we, so arabellasadventures.com is where we head to look at all the stuff?
Yeah, and then there's a Facebook page and a Twitter account, same thing, and an Instagram account too.
Fantastic. That's really cool. And so, yeah, some really awesome New Zealand content for our New Zealand schools, our New Zealand kids to hear and see.
Yeah, I've got something else I've got to share, because if I don't, Toni will growl me. So she also talks about this a little bit in her video, which you're going to share soon. But what we did is we went to the ULIN conference this year, and a whole bunch of us really felt real empowered, and we wanted to like do more, push the boundaries, think outside the square, in a place where we can sort of like take our own learning further. Because quite often you go to a conference and you walk away and you're like, cool, yeah, and like nothing really happens. And we are the type of people where we want to do more. So we have designed our own hui. It's called the WIP hui. WIP stands for work in progress.
Nice.
How we're always working in progress to like help ourselves grow and explore and push ourselves. And so it's a 2-day hui in Hawke's Bay, where you just come together. There's going to be a whole lot of things that you can do, breakouts, games, sharing, everything. And the idea is that we're just trying to help push each other even further. So you can go to the bit.ly code, and then it will take you to this registration form. And it's just like registering your interest. And then once we've got numbers, then we'll definitely like book it in. But so far, this is what we've got. And it's just, yeah, it's another way of getting like-minded people together.
Nice. That looks really cool. And I see that the important it's free.
Yes, so it doesn't cost anything. So your only cost would be you physically having to get there. So that would obviously be your own cost, and you would have to pay for your own accommodation. But the hui itself is free, nothing.
That's amazing. That's really, really cool. Awesome. So what sort of people are you saying should come along to the work in progress hui?
Anyone that is wanting to push the boundaries or try new things, or like embraces the yes and type of thinking. Nice. And you're just wanting to share, connect, and basically just disrupt what you're doing in the classroom.
Work it. That sounds awesome. Awesome. So 18th, 19th January, is it? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so awesome. Like the before like teacher only days and stuff. So we wanted to give people a break, but we also didn't want to make it like too late. So yeah, hopefully people will come. I think we've had a few signups, which is great, and it's free. So I mean, pretty cool.
That's fantastic. So a really nice energizer for the start of the year back. That's really cool. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. That's great to hear from you. Cool.
Good.
So let's jump over to our second other Kiwi innovator, Laura. Laura, what have you got going on? Let's hear from you.
Cool. So my main thing is just continuing on with the Trainer Dragon newsletter. So we've had, I think, 4 issues out now, and the most recent issue, the big kind of call to action that I'd love people to do this month is give me some feedback. So obviously we've got 2 more issues before the end of the year, and then in 2020 I'm really looking as to kind of where I take it so that it can be really useful for teachers who are starting to use some of these artificial intelligence tools in the classroom. So I haven't got a thing for the screen, unfortunately, but there's a bit.ly link, so bit.ly/TAD feedback. And if you go to that and just tell me what you think, if you think it's useless, if you haven't looked at it and you're not interested, tell me why, sort of thing. Looking for brutally honest feedback so we can really improve in the new year. And that's about where my project's at the moment. So it's a pretty short and sweet update, but yeah.
Cool. So your Trainer Dragon page, do you want to remind us what that's all about, and what your plans are, and what's the aim of the Trainer Dragon?
Yeah, so the aim is twofold, and one of the parts of the project that's been a bit slow going is developing some tools that teachers can actually start using in classrooms in terms of assessment tools. But the bit that we have got off the ground is that there's a monthly newsletter that comes out, which has been going off to about a group of people every month. And so that's aimed at classroom teachers, but other people who have a general interest in AI and education, and giving them really practical ways that they can start to use some of these tools in the classroom. So if you're a complete beginner, that's kind of where I'm aiming it at. So I'd love to hear what you would want out of that. If you're kind of thinking, okay, I'm starting to hear about artificial intelligence, starting to think that it might be a good thing for my workload if I can get a computer to do half the job for me, but I have no idea where to start. That and those people in particular, I'd love to hear from, but anybody can give feedback, obviously.
Awesome. So what sort of artificial intelligence tools are we talking about? What are you exploring?
Yeah, so one of the big things we talk about are voice assistant devices like Alexa and Google Home, and how they can be useful. But the other side of things is looking at some of the tools like, Mathletics and some of those tools that we use every day that have algorithms behind them that we might not understand or even notice are there.
Cool.
And then the most recent issue, we're looking at workflow and automation. So again, things that are baked into tools like a lot of the Google tools, where we can actually automate things and set them up so that we don't have to touch them, and making sure that people are aware of the full functionality of that.
Nice. So saving people time.
Yep, absolutely. Saving
Awesome.
time and sanity.
Yeah, that sounds like a great help. So how we've been, so was it now about 6 months since we've been to the academy? Thinking back on how things went for you guys. What's something that sticks in your mind that you've had sort of stayed with you for the 6 months of being back? Either of you can answer that question. What do you think has been some of you that's really stuck with you? One of those big takeaways that's still really, really good for anybody.
For me, definitely is just that we have the power to make the change. And I know that quite often, people say that and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. But it really is down to us and we can do it. It's just all about your mindset and yes and attitude. And totally we can do it. That's just basically what I've got from it.
Nice. Cool. Laura,
Nice.
What do you think is one thing that kind of sticks with you?
I think for me, it's the fail fast. So the idea of just get it out there. And let people give you brutally honest feedback and tell you what you can do next to improve it, and
Cool.
Just keep iterating and kind of improving.
Cool, that's awesome. Yeah, so we're going to shoot on to our next guest, who unfortunately couldn't pop in tonight because she's driving about 2.5 hours between jobs. So Toni's put together a quick video, a short screencast for us to have a look at about what's coming up with her. So we'll jump into that now and have a look what's going on with her.
Kia ora. So I just thought I'd share some of the exciting things going on in my world. So the first one I want to share with you is Gee Whiz Kids. So this was my Innovator project that I've been working on. So essentially it's an interactive online learning platform designed for students aged 7 to 12 to work through kind of context-based challenges to practice and learn digital fluency skills in Google. So it's all free, and if you click on teacher or student, you get access to all of the resources that support it. Currently there's only one challenge up at the moment, but more are coming. So here it is here, and the kids then work through a whole series of challenges. It has audio to support students and to break down some of those barriers. It has help videos, and they interact with a character called Max who wants to save the ocean. So they've got all sorts of bits and bobs that they have to do, but along the way they're practicing their Google Drawing skills, their Google Doc skills, and their filing skills. If you're keen to do this, go to the bit.ly, which I will show you soon, but it's bit.ly/GeeWhizKids, all lowercase. I encourage you to kind of get your kids familiar with the platform first before making it an independent, or maybe showing your whole class and then making it an independent so they know what to do. But I'm trying to make it as user-friendly and as kid-friendly as possible. So that's Gee Whiz Kids. Then there's a leaderboard that the kids then put their names onto once they've finished, and you can see here once it loads that we've had kids from all around the world starting to do Gee Whiz. So really, really awesome stuff. Pretty exciting to see. I think when I released it, there was about 1,000 people interested and signed up. So I'm really stoked with the progress and stoked with the response to it. So I'm sort of looking into ways of making it even more cool, but that's coming in the pipelines. Second thing I want to share is the Master of One podcast that Laura Butler and I are starting. So it's a podcast that shines a spotlight on masters and PhD research. So both Laura and I are doing our masters. I've just finished mine in July, and Laura's doing hers currently. So we are kind of in the space where it's like you do this masters and then it goes and sits in a research data bank, and no one maybe reads it. It doesn't quite translate from big 30,000 word thesis to how does this look in the classroom and how can it actually affect kids and teachers. So we thought we'd be that bridge where we interview people who have done their masters and try and make those really explicit links, or PhD, to explicit links to the classroom, so that people can feel like their research is really valid and it's actually being used in practice. Because from experience, you spend a whole lot of your life and time, blood, sweat and tears into this master's, into something you're really passionate about, and it's a great way to be able to share and feel like your master's has made a difference. So come along and join us. We're going to launch early 2020 in terms of finding it on your Spotify, Apple Podcasts and YouTube. But we do need people to sign up and interview. So if you are interested in being a part of that, please come and sign up on the website. I'll give you the link soon. It's bit.ly/master of one. And we can interview you from anywhere. We'll just do an online interview, so it doesn't have to be in person. So yeah, please come along, because we think that this would be a really great way for people to share and collaborate about what they've been working on. And the next thing I'd like to share is I'm lucky enough to be doing a integrating digital technologies to Supersize learning webinar through Pet Talks. And they are doing a special offer of $35 per person to come and listen to that. So it's an online webinar. You just sign up, and if you can't make the date, which is this Tuesday, the 17th of November, you can watch it sort of on demand, which is pretty cool. So if you're at a school where you know that this new curriculum is coming in 2020, and maybe your school isn't quite on board, or you want to upskill, this is a really cheap and easy way to do it. And if you want to know a little bit more about it, or the background to who I am and why I might be somewhat qualified to talk on this topic, you can visit www.pettalks.co.nz. I'm also doing one later in the year, in early December, around sort of project, challenge, task, authentic project-based learning as well, which taps into the digital technologies curriculum as well. So that's that as well. And then last but absolutely not least, something that we're super excited about, which was born out of, I guess, a group of people at ULearn who are passionate about education, passionate about pushing boundaries, is the WIP, the Work in Progress Hui, which is taking place in Hawke's Bay on the 18th and 19th of January. So that's a weekend, still in the summer holidays, but close to the end of the summer holidays. And we are looking for people who are forward thinkers, boundary pushers, disobedient teachers to come along and, I guess, challenge your own thinking, push your thinking, meet with other like-minded educators, and, you know, we're going to do some putt-putt golf and some fun stuff as well, and just get those connections going. I think sometimes when you are one of those kind of teachers, you sometimes feel like you're out on your own, dragging the chain, dragging everyone with you. So sometimes it's nice to come together and be really inspired and ignited to continue to push for change in your educational settings. So we would love for you to sign up and come along. The bit.ly is down there, bit.ly/all capitals WIPHUI20. That will take you to when I can find it. It will take you to a sign up sheet. It's also floating around on Twitter and Instagram if you want to find the actual post. It will take you to this register of interest, and there's a schedule that you can look at. It gives you the times, and you just fill out your bits. Filling out the form doesn't mean that you're committed to coming, but we would love to just have a bit of interest so we can see what we kind of need to organise in terms of place and space and things like that. The one kind of catch with the Whip Hui is that we are looking for people to share something. So part of the coming to the Whip Hui is that you have something to share, that you're willing to share, not like being an active participant in this. So big or small, we would love people to come and share. The other thing about the Whip Hui is that it is sponsored by DC, Digital Circus, which is the company that I work for. They've agreed to cover all of our costs in terms of stationery, materials, and food. So thank you, DC. You are awesome, and you continue to support future-focused education in New Zealand. Oh, I think that's me. I don't know how long that took, but I'm hoping that it was like done and dusted. Now, I know that there's some other people on the call that are involved in the Whip Hui, so if you've got any questions or you want to know some more, you can ask them as well. Rightio. This, I can't make my scroll. There we go. Ta-da-da. So there's just an overview of all of the stuff I've talked about. GWIZ, Master of One, Pep Talks, and the Whip Hui. So get involved with any or all of those things and keep supporting the future-focused driving forward of technologies in New Zealand. Ka pai.
Awesome, Toni. Thanks for that. So this is a Google drawing she's put together with a whole pile of information, a whole pile of short links there. So the GWIZ kids up the top, Master of One Bitly, Pep Talks down the bottom, and of course the Work in Progress Hui, which is over on the side there, with support from Digital Circus, that free event we heard about. So that's what we were talking about. Thanks very much for sending that to us, Toni. Sorry you couldn't be with us. I'll jump back into us here, and here we go. We're back again. So that's excellent, folks. Hey, thanks very much for joining us, Jordan and Laura. It was really great to catch up with you guys again and hear what's going on. It's really cool to see that, you know, the innovator community in New Zealand is still rolling along, and we've got so many amazing people that are out there, and it's just a matter of, you know, sharing our expertise. And I think it was Michael that says, remember, what is your ordinary might be someone else's amazing. So it's really cool to hear from both you guys. Your projects look amazing. I'm an absolute awe of them. They are fantastic. You're working so hard, and Laura, even with your new project on the way in a couple of weeks, good luck for that. We may not catch up with you before your family grows, so good luck for your next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll catch everyone for the December issue. We'll get some more people on board and have a bit of an open forum, and hopefully hear from some people we haven't heard of for quite some time, just quietly. I'm not looking at anybody in particular out there in that photo. So thanks very much for joining us, folks. And thanks very much, Jordan and Laura, for being here tonight. And we'll just sign off and say, ka kite. Thanks very much for joining us, and see you all in a month.
Thanks, Steve.
Awesome. Cool.